How we doing? Woke up this morning singing, God is so good. I woke up this morning, God is so good. So I woke up this morning knowing God is so good. I woke up this morning knowing God is so good. I woke up this morning knowing God is so good. My God is so good to me every day, every way. God is so good every way. God is so good every day, every way. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yeah. What y'all doing over there? Those married couples over in the corner, you better watch them. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Good morning, everyone. A lot of smiling, happy faces here. It's great to see you all. So please join me in our opening prayer. As you settle into your chair, just allow your body to soften and become still. Give yourself several slow, long, deep breaths in and out. As you breathe slowly, feel yourself gently relaxing into the divine presence and connect with your heart. We acknowledge this presence within each one of us, those gathered here in person and those joining us online. We give thanks for this realization of oneness, knowing that we are all connected and that each of us is a beautiful and unique manifestation of love. With that awareness, we offer our collective love and healing energy to anyone here or online who is in need of prayer. We are so grateful for this time together, grateful for every way Spirit has guided, supported, and protected us since we last met. Grateful for this loving community and the kindness we share with one another. grateful for this wonderful music from Landis. May we be inspired today by the words spoken, the music offered, and the conversations we are blessed to have. And as we leave this sacred gathering, may we carry love with us. May we embody the kindness we wish to see in the world. And so it is. Amen.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's praise. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I got a roof and a bed, a couple groceries to stay fed. I got a phone, a clean water, and some shoes when I wanna go further. And today I've got so much to be thankful for. I woke up this morning thinking, thank you, Lord, for giving me everything I could ever need and more. I've got so much to be thankful for. Hey, I've got lights, hey, and a fan. A couple people who knew who I am, y'all. I got a car, hey, clean clothes, pots and pans I can cook on the stove. I have the sun, air in my lungs, a big mess that I get to clean up. But most of all, one thing's true, Jesus, I'm thankful for you. Hey, and today I've got so much to be thankful for. And I woke up this morning thinking, thank you, Lord, for giving me everything I could ever need and more. I've got so much to be thankful for. You got it now. Oh, I looked it up. I said, I love it. I got a song for Sunday. I love it. Y'all take care. I got a song for the week. I got a song for the whole year.
Thank you, Landis. What a great way to start today off. Well, welcome all, and welcome to Unity of Chattanooga's Sunday celebration. My name is Noam Stark, and I have the humble experience of being one of your board members. And I want to send out a special thank you, or spend out, who knows? It might be a new thing. I come up with new words all the time. Follow me for more. Send out a special welcome to thank those who are watching us from Facebook and YouTube. We want to thank you for inviting us into your homes and into your hearts. And I would love to see, all of us would love to see more comments, more interactions. We love it when there's lots of engagement and questions and comments. So please feel free to light up the comments. Don't forget to share this message with your friends and family if you know of somebody who could really receive this message today, or the multiple messages that'll come today. Do we have anyone new here today who is brand new to Unity? No. Okay, so then what we get to do is bless ourselves today. Yay! So, everybody knows we're going to warm up our beautiful hands. Let's see. I'm being told to put one hand on the head and one hand on our heart, which you make the choice of which one feels good for you. And to say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. The Christ in you refers to the spark of divinity present in every single human being on earth. The sacred potential to embody divine love, wisdom, compassion, and truth. Jesus awakened this presence within himself and demonstrated it through his life and his ministry. We also honor many other way showers, teachers, prophets, mystics, and wisdom traditions that have revealed the same divine light through different languages, cultures, and paths. At Unity of Chattanooga, we strive to live by our name by celebrating our sacred unity and the sovereignty of every individual. We honor the many paths through which people seek, experience, and understand the divine. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. We are an inclusive spiritual community offering practical tools, meaningful connection, and universal principles to help all cultivate hope, live consciousness, and bring their spiritual understanding into their everyday practice. So today I have a brief discussion about becoming Yellow Jacket. This is an experience I had recently, and it's kind of follows suit with the last time I was up here about embodiment. Spirit's on a hard path for me to really know this so that I think I can actually help others. So I have a land altar outside, and it's on my property, and then when somebody new comes to the property, I always make sure the energy is refreshed and enlivened. And I'm doing my thing, my process. There's a branch over the altar, so I wanted to move the branch, get it out of the way. I threw it up the hill just a little bit, and a yellow jacket nest emerged on me and bursted and threw everything that I had in my hands and fled, because that's what everybody does. You're supposed to do that, right? But as I got away, even though I was far enough away, I felt these searing pains only here. And there were 3 separate stings I had right on my third eye. So while the blood is pumping, the adrenaline is flowing, and this searing pain, you of course go through lots of different things, like, okay, what is this? That's my first question. What is this? Is it simply just me not being observant enough to actually pay attention to this boundary that's present, or that became present in an area I was unknown that it was there, or is it more? So I tend to go into a process This is unusual to have 3 stings in one place. My whole face was right there. They could have gotten me anywhere, literally anywhere. I was vulnerable. But they chose this spot. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be more here. So I listen and I wait. I have to go through my day. I've got stuff to do. And I heard the words that I was going through another initiation. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. So I allow the information to come. I'm not forcing it. I'm not digging into it. I just stay open and curious. That's my process. So in this, they're actually asking me to share this particular process. There's 3 parts for me. There's the encounter, which can remain an encounter, and that's when it's not really anything significant. Then there's the embodiment, and then there's the lived medicine. So the encounter, of course, was that. Then I was asked to go back to this altar, go back to this space, engage once more, find out what's going on. Is this just an encounter? Is there more wisdom here? Now, I've already gotten the guidance, of course, so I go down with reverence, a lot more respect, with distance, of course. But I put my hands up and I'm asked to connect. And to my surprise, I started to do, which is a very common thing shamanically, where you start to actually connect and embody this animal. And it's a normal process, this nature being, we'll call it, because it doesn't have to be an animal only. To my surprise, I started seeing the hive into the heart, start building something in my heart space. They're actually elongating a hive, a bigger hive in my chest. While watching and witnessing that, while I was standing there, my body started changing colors from flesh to golden black. And I was like, okay. So then all of a sudden, the chest, the shoulders, and my back started to get thicker and stronger and more muscly to encompass wings. And then the whole entire body started to happen until the final point where the abdomen elongated and it came time to actually express the stinger. And it showed how the stinger can actually rotate 360 degrees and is extremely sharp and can reach anything, anywhere it needs to. And I was then understanding that there's deeper medicine here for me to actually embody and understand. I'm taking on these attributes of this animal, but I need to understand what this medicine means. I can't just simply say, oh, cool, I got to be a yellow jacket. There's a lot more coming to this. So with this, of course, it's boundaries and fierce protection, but it's teaching me how to be a protector of my sacred spaces. So I went away from that experience very awestruck, very amazed, and trying to really understand this medicine. Just before I left, I was told that I need to actually express this medicine in a way. And I was shown that I need to express this by actually removing the nest, which was not something I wanted to do, even though I was harmed at first. But I just got done experiencing something amazing from them. They're my teachers, so why would I want to harm them? But that was a part of the bigger medicine, was me to actually put a boundary out there and protect my nest now, because my nest is being compromised. So this third part was the actual action of the medicine, where I actually had to go out there and do the nest. Now, I asked for guidance on that because I want to, of course, not harm as much as possible. And the guidance that came through was do it midday when the nest is most active. There'll be fewer casualties and they'll move on. And that's what I've done. So there's this beautiful transition that I have with these 3 elements when they come in for me through these land initiations. This is how the land and I are getting really deep, as well as nature. But the reason why I think Spirit is asking me to really dig into this and really become a part of this is this has actually been a blueprint that I can help others with through their own initiations and understanding these initiations, especially nature-based. But that was my encounter, my embodiment, and my living the medicine in becoming Yellow Jacket. You're most welcome. All right, so before we get started, we have Linda Zanity, who wishes to come up and share about the recent book study group and how it has impacted her life.
It's kind of hard to follow a yellow jacket.
Well, you're dressed.
I am. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Oh, my. I am Linda Zanatti, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you, Penny. Where's Penny? I'm back here. Hi, Penny. Thank you, Penny, for allowing me this space. I wanted to share with you the impact of the book study that it's had on my life. I've been coming to Unity about 18 months, and during that time, there have been many times that I have had aha moments from the messages from the amazing presenters that we've had. I feel like that they have, these messages and these lessons have helped me to nourish my inner landscape so that I can cultivate right thinking. Then came the book studies. Now, historically, I would have never read a book by Myrtle Fillmore. Eric Butterworth, The Sermon of the Mount by Emmett Fox, and lastly, the Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Shinn. Those were just not things that I would have read because I felt them to be outdated and not applicable to current times. What I found was that there was an ageless truth and wisdom that permeated through these words. And I found illustration after illustration of what it looks like to step into life rather than being a bystander and waiting for life to come in and present itself. So I was in Big Sandy at a cabin waiting for my car to be repaired, and I was there a month, and I continued studying the chapters each week as we were, chapter 6, chapter 7. I was doing that, and I came to me that I've had a thing on my bucket list to go to Kenya, and I've had that for some time. As I was reading the chapter, a thought came into me, and it asked me a question, and it said, when is it that you're going to bring the trip to Kenya into your reality? And I said, well, when I have a surplus of money, because the funds that I have might be needed in the future. So the response was, so what you're saying is that you have a fear that you're not going to have what you need going forward, a scarce mentality. And I said, well, since you put it in that way, I agree. So the next piece of this was, let's go deeper. And being an integrative Gestalt life coach, and I was now being inquired inside, I said, okay. So the question came, isn't the fear and scarcity connected to a long-buried distortion within you that you're unworthy and you're undeserving for the universe to care for you? So the holy hush settled in me. I was quiet, and I let it just permeate into my body. Then I finished reading the end of the chapter I was reading, and it says, choose you this day whom you shall serve, fear or love. So I decided to do an experiment with myself. And that experiment entitled that I booked a flight to Kenya. I booked a flight. It's been about 2 months ago, and the morning after I was like, what did you just do? And I started stepping backwards. So in about 2 weeks, some unexpected funds came my way that ended up covering half of the fare. And I'm going a week from Tuesday. Yeah. And I'm staying with a family that watches Unity on the services. And I had mentioned this to Penny, and she wanted to respond sometime back, but for whatever reason, those comments are not able to come through. I don't know if there's a firewall from a foreign country. I don't really know. But anyway, I'm staying with a family in a village. And and I wanted to share this because for me it's a direct application and putting forth the principles of conscious living. And I want to thank Unity and thank Amanda for facilitating. Yeah. It's moving. It's moving emotionally to recognize when a transformation is taking place within. So I asked Penina is her name, or Penina. I asked her, what can I bring the children? And she said they need books and they need school supplies. She said we have such a scarcity of school supplies. So I'm taking very few clothes. I'm taking actually one other change of clothes, and my suitcase is being filled with school supplies and books. But what I wanted to ask you, if it so resonates with any of you, to write a note for me to hand deliver to the children and to the children in the village. Just a note of love, because they're connected through internet to us, and it just feels like an extension. Yeah. So thank you for hearing this. Yes.
What is the name of the village?
Naruka. It's about and of course I'm not saying that right, I'm sure, but it's about an hour and a half from Nairobi. Nakuri. Narura, or something. And I can spell it for you later. But yes.
Do you need any help gathering school supplies? Can we assist in any way?
So you know what? I need crayons, okay. And the reason is because I had crayons, and the dog is a counter surfer, and she ate all of the crayons, and now I have confetti poop in the backyard. But she ate, so some crayons would be lovely. Some crayons would be lovely. So thank you for yes.
I work at an outdoor co-op, and we've been donating huge packs of crayons every year. We haven't even touched.
Oh, that would be so wonderful, so wonderful, so wonderful.
About like 200 packs.
Thank you.
I'll grab it.
So maybe four or five would be great. So I'm going to be staying with the family. Her son said, "What will Miss Linda eat?" And she said she's going to eat what we eat. And he said, "I'm so glad I'll be able to talk to her because I know English, and I'm so glad too because I don't know their language." But one of the things that I learned is that their school punishes them if they speak their native tongue. They have to speak English. And I told her, I said, that saddens me. Because of what it represents. And but anyway, I'm going a week from Tuesday, and thank you all for hearing me and being part of my heart. Namaste.
She was talking about a tough act to follow, right? Holy smokes. All right. You know, that last comment hit me hard. I am in the process of studying and understanding, what do they call it? Now, of course, the indigenous. I've been very interested in the indigenous all over the U.S., Canada, and elsewhere. but colonization in general has been a big thing for me and understanding it, and even to the degree where Ireland and Scotland have been very much treated the same way, not allowed to practice their language, not allowed to practice their religion and everything else, and it's a part of colonization. I personally feel there's a big swelling coming from this. A lot of people are becoming very aware of this. So I hope that the future does not have colonization anymore, that everybody's able to be who they're meant to be. Yes. All right. Linda O'Brien, you're next. Linda is going to talk to us about the Facebook auction.
Good morning. And we're so excited. We're kicking off our Facebook auction today at noon. And actually, Noam's going to do this. She's going to put a link from the auction we've set up online to the Friends of Unity auction Facebook page. So you guys can click on that and go. If you have any questions about that after the kickoff, just call me or call somebody, text us. We'll show you how to do it. But we have 51 items, so thank you so much for everyone that's donated items, services. We've got a lot of really fun, cool things on there. And part of this auction is this auction is to raise money for our building fund, but it's also supposed to be fun. So let's have some fun. There might be some glitches, and we'll figure those out as we go. It runs for 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today at noon, we'll close it out, and then we'll have a list of the winners from each item, and you just bid under the comment under each item or service that's out there. If you need help with that, one of us will help you. At the closing of the auction, we will list the winners and possibly a Venmo. I think there's PayPal. There's a lot of different ways to pay Unity for that if you don't have Venmo. And then from there, we'll set up some dates to come pick up your things. Also, each one of you can invite friends to the auction, which spreads it out a little bit more. I would be a little careful about people out of town because we'll ask you to pick up their item and mail it to them. So just think about that as you're inviting people. We want everyone to be able to come and look. But like there's a double pet stroller, I'll give one of them away. That might be a little pricey to mail to New York or something like that. So think about that, and then we'll keep you posted once we finish on the pickup dates and how that's going to work. So if you have any questions, just ask us after the service, and at noon, we'll put the link on there and we'll start having some fun. Thank you.
Linda's worked, yes.
I have 2 cards ready for signing, one for our dear friend Kate, and is she here?
Yes.
Okay, Surprise. Corliss's buddy, Deb of Get Well.
Her partner, yes, yes.
So I have them back here and with pens.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Linda's a little modest, but Linda has worked really, really hard on this auction. This was something that she did not know how to do, and this was a complete new venture for her to step into this space of unknown, and she ran into some serious health issues that was gonna be in the way, and I'm awfully proud of her. She didn't give up, and she stuck to it and found her way through it, so thank you. Thank you so much. All right, and then I believe we have, okay. Do we want to do, where are we? Do we want to do the third? Oh, okay. Yep, right on. Okay, we can do that. All right, so now we're going to get to a few of the upcoming events that we have going on. I promise we're going to get to you. I promise. So this Wednesday, Her Alchemy is going to be having a a threshold of bountiful returns, and what we're going to be talking about is our harvests, our internal harvest. We're going to walk through our own personal gardens. I'll do a walk through meditation where we can discover some things about ourselves, maybe realize some things, see what's the root, what's flowering and what's fruiting, and then make note, and then help you with any questions about harvesting and how to harvest and all that. So it should be a really good time. It's going to be a very deep and heady discussion, but good stuff, fun. And then for Laura wishes to come up. Oh, sorry. Oh, yes, Wellness Warriors. I didn't see that on here. Okay. That will be this Thursday, right? Yes. At noon. And it is a confidential discussion group. I've been a part of it numerous times. It's really helped me in the beginning when I did my walk with Lyme disease and several other compilations that came from that with autoimmune and everything else. So I've seen numerous transitions for others, and I'm so grateful that Eric has this and can keep it up, even though I know you are going through your own personal journey with health. Typical healer, you know. Gotta say. But thank you for that. And then Ann Yeager will be giving light Thursday at 1 o'clock on August 20th for any who is, and then I can speak to that. She is amazing, and the pure light that comes from her really is helpful and really is something sacred and special. So take advantage of it if it really speaks to you. I would follow up on that for sure. It's a great offer. Okay, now? Okay. All right, Laura, if you wish to come up.
Okay, yeah, so we're starting our spirit group on this coming Friday. It'll be at our home. The address is back on the sign-up sheet, so we don't want to post it in the, hopefully it's not there. But just want to let everybody know there's going to be a suggested reading. And so if you put your email on the sign-up sheet in the back today, I'll make sure to email that reading out to everybody. And it's not required. I don't want anybody to feel like they can't come. There's no attendance policy, so you can come to one and then not come to the next one. But we'll be starting that on this Friday. At 5:30. At 5. Oh, at 5:30. Sorry. Yes, at 5:30. At 5:30. That's even better. So yeah. So hopefully.
Thank you. All right, so we have plenty going on and plenty to do, which is very exciting. And next Sunday, Dr. Reginald Howard will return from Atlanta to present "You Are the Power of God in Action." Okay, now we get to the denouement. Today's guest speaker is Reverend Jean Bell. Over the years, she has served as the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta in many capacities, including practitioner, board member, education director, bookkeeper, and associated minister. We haven't had the pleasure of her presence for almost a year, but there is a reason for that. In between then and now, Reverend Jean has been promoted and is now the senior minister at CSL in Atlanta. We congratulate you on this wonderful milestone in your ministerial career, and we want to thank you and your congregation for willingly sharing you once again with us. So please join me in a round of applause for Reverend Jean Bell.
Can you hear me? I am so happy to be back with you. I didn't think I was going to make it. So let me tell you a little backstory. In September of last year, the staff and the board, got notification that Reverend Dr. David Alexander would be leaving to follow his wife to Oregon. I'm like, what you talking about? His wife has a job there. And so she followed him to Atlanta 6 years ago. And he said, now it's my turn to follow her. And I was like, okay, but what about us? Being selfish. So, needless to say, they had a house. They bought a house here in Atlanta. We didn't think it was going to sell fast. Not at all. He said, oh, maybe 3 months, I should be here by, in December. We have time to work things out. But we should announce to the community that I'm leaving in September. And he put that house on the market. That thing had like 7 offers. It was bought and sold. And so he says, guess what? I'm leaving in October. Make a long story short, everything started happening really, really fast, really fast. And so we had to plan not only a going away party, a going away message, it was also his birthday. So we were just going every which way but loose. And also, the board had to make a really big decision. What should we do? Should we candidate or what? And so they talked with one of the ministers from the Centers for Spiritual Living, which is our headquarters, and they said, what do you feel about your associate minister, Reverend Jean? Do you want to candidate, or do you trust her enough just to step into the role? And you make the decision saying that you are recommending her to the community, and the community now has the right to vote. And so the community did in March. And needless to say, I am now the senior minister of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Thank you. And I missed you all. And Penny asked me to come back in November of last year. I was like, well, I got an ordination to take care of. I was being ordained. And then December, that didn't work out because we couldn't get anybody to fill in the slots. So guess what? I did all of them. And so it's just been a whirlwind, I should say. Whirlpool. Whirlpool makes a bed. No, you don't remember that commercial. Do you remember that commercial? Anyway, to make a long story short, this is not just any average senior minister just stepping into the role. I am the first female senior minister for the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, and I am the first African American senior minister of the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. And when that was brought to my attention, I was like, oh, shoot, you're right. All right. That's a big deal. Now, I'm not the first LGBTQIA or whatever the alphabets are. We've had 2 others out of the 4 previous one. In fact, our founding minister, Kennedy Schultz, was gay. And he was like, I'm going to make sure that this center is a center that is inclusive, that is diverse, that is welcoming, that everybody gets to come in and worship and understand their divinity. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about embracing our spiritual divinity, right? Because it's not just about LGBTQIA+. It's about everybody, no matter how you identify. If you don't identify, if you're just saying, I'm a child of God, that's what it's about. Embracing that divine I am that is within you. And I love the fact that you came up here and told us about that wonderful demonstration. That is a beautiful demonstration, that you finally listened to the divinity that was in you, all right? And that you were able to take a horrific incident, because I've been bit by yellow jackets, and I gave up mowing my own lawn because of that. I was like, you could have the yard, you could have the lawnmower, you could have that weed whacker. I'm not coming back outside. Hello? Jean-Louise, can you, come on? You did something. You went in. You said, what does this mean? I know what it meant for me. No more. But you took it a step further. And thank you for sharing that, right? Because you went within, you talked with that divine I am that is within you, and you found out how to integrate that bump on your head, all the stings that you got. You went deeper than that. It wasn't just surface, and I love that. So thank you. Thank all of you for whatever you shared, because it fits right into what this message is today. Now, one of the main principles of New Thought philosophy, and I say New Thought because you're Unity and I'm Science of Mind, but it's all the same umbrella, right? One of the main principles of New Thought philosophy is that there is this ultimate reality, God, Spirit. You can call it Bob. And it is this life force of all that exists. We've learned that the manifest universe, all that you see, and even microscopically, even down to the things that we cannot see, is the result of the eternal self-knowingness, this consciousness of divine intelligence. It all is its outpicturing. And the beautiful thing about this divine intelligence is that we are an intrinsic part of it. We are. And let us take an opportunity to truly acknowledge that we live and we move and we have our being in this spirit. And that it is our innate potential. And we are every day connected to it. We can't get away from it. We can't. We try, but we can't. You know, in our very busy everyday lives, we may not revel in the awesomeness of this. And it could be because maybe we don't have a connection, that we haven't been doing our spiritual practices. Whatever the case may be in awe every single day. I know I am. I know Rachel probably thinks I'm crazy sometimes. This is my beautiful wife, Rachel. I know she thinks I'm crazy. I'll be like, oh, did you see the trees swaying in the wind? Right? And did you notice that the bottom part of the tree is not tan, but the top part is tan? That's because it's currents, right? And I'm just watching the way everything is just so magnificent, right? You ever see a peacock? The male peacocks, right? They got a job to do. They got to impress the female peacocks, right? Female peacocks, they just show up in their goddessness, right? They're like, I don't need all that. That's a lot of luggage to be carrying back there. I'm not doing that. But the guys, they got to work for it. They're like, ooh, hey, see me. See this plume, see these feathers, aren't I magnificent? You know, that's the beauty of the divine expressed in all of the things in life. When I look out and see all of you, none of you are the same. You're all divine, unique, individualized incarnations of the Spirit. All those viewing, you are as well. The divine I am with you. So just for a moment, be with that. Just for a moment, be with that and let go of any sense of separation and recognize a state of unity and conscious alignment with the omnipresence of the divine. I didn't say omnipresent because Spirit is omnipresence itself. Spirit is omnipotence itself, right? It's omniscience itself. Recognize this. And in and all around us at all times, embrace your divinity. The very air is filled with the dynamic energy of the divine. Ooh, it gives me chills. Or is that the air conditioner? So today my topic is embracing the divine. And we come to spiritual centers like this, and if I lived in Chattanooga, I would so be a member, okay? I'm just letting you know. I would be a member. I'm not moving here. But if I did, I would. All right? We come here to be energized, renewed, and filled with Spirit's love. That's why we come here, right? Because we're accepted. No matter how we identify, we are accepted here. We are loved here. And that's what it's all about. It's about love, that divine I am. And you see, we come for the wisdom, we come for the guidance, we come for the cake. I know I come for the cake. And you can have all of this for the low price of free because it is your divine birthright. Say divine birthright. Divine birthright. You're already divine. You don't need anybody to die and rise again for you. You don't need any saviors. You don't even need any gurus. You don't even need me. All right? I'm glad that you invited me, but you don't need me. All you need to do is connect with that which is within you. It's already there, right? See, Spirit has already provided us with all that we need to embrace our divinity, and we are at choice whether we believe this is to be true and allow these inherent divine attributes to come forth in our everydayness. Everydayness. Right now, back at my center, we pick our own monthly themes. The Centers for Spiritual Living have suggested monthly themes. Sometimes they're a hit, sometimes not so much for us, right? So ours is Answer the Call for the month of August, right? Answer the Call. And what I was saying about 2 Sundays ago is that we get to answer that call every single day that we wake up. We answer the call to be the spokespeople, the spokespersons of Spirit every single day if we choose. And how do you be a spokesperson for the Spirit of the living God? Through your love, through your kindness, through your discernment, through your wisdom that you get in places like this, right? You get to be that divine I am made in this incarnation right here. You get to be that loving kindness, right? Every day. And we get to choose whether we are going to be Spirit spokesmen because we are not robots. We get to choose how we show up in this life. And yet Spirit is always innating, letting us know, I am with you always. I am with you always. It's that indwelling call, that urge, deep down feeling that there's something more, right? There's something more. And we all know this, right? We all know this. This is so easy for us, right? Yeah, okay. Because we accept our divinity wholeheartedly, don't we? We accept it wholeheartedly, don't we? Because we have done our spiritual practices that have dispelled the idea of separatism, that has quieted the noise of the world of effect that says we're not one with the source of our being. We're like, that's not our truth. We have done our spiritual practice daily in order to quiet and dissipate the insistent negative thought patterns so we can recognize God, universal source, the only causative force to all things, which is omnipresence, which is omnipotent, which is omniscience itself, right? And that we are one with it. We've done our work. And if you haven't done your work, get to it. Get to it. Eric Butterworth, a renowned unity minister, once said, the first step is they must call themselves sons, daughters, children of God. This is the action step, Eric said. Call yourself a child of God. Affirm for yourself that you are divine in potential. Declare for yourself, I am a spiritual being with the potential of peace and harmony and overcoming within me at all times. I am a radiating center of divine light, life, and wisdom, end quote. The world of effect will present its challenges because there are those that still believe in every and anything that is not in accordance with the divine goodness of Spirit, that still believes in the separation and the othering of others, that they embrace dogmatic points of view that believe if you worship a certain way, you're a sinner. But not us, not us. We instead acknowledge and recognize that there is one thing happening here, and that is the living Spirit Almighty made manifest as the myriad of people and creation itself. Back of all things is Spirit. Back of all things is Spirit. And so it's time that we as adherents to the New Thought philosophy, that we choose our divinity, choosing consciously choosing in this sacred space to turn our focus inward and awaken to the radiant truth of our being, knowing that the presence of Spirit is ever within and around us, ready to inspire, uplift, and guide us into fuller realization of our divine potential. Do you hear me? Do you hear this? Oh, you're divine, all of you. We get the opportunity to name the things that no longer serve us. Can you name the things that no longer serve you? That doubt, that fear, that unworthiness, which you so beautifully spoke about, right? And you said, get out of here. We've got time for that. And we use our spiritual practices such as faith and affirmative prayer, right? Visioning, visualization, and other spiritual tools, meditation, that can help us with the allowing process and claim that we are ready to stand in the power and sacredness of our being. Oh, when you do that, when you stand in the sacredness of your being, you do kind of get like a peacock, right? Right? But you're not trying to attract something that is outside of yourself. You're just allowing that divine presence that's within you out. Are you ready to embrace your divinity? Yes. Because you know, when you do this, you become beacons of spirit's love and light. You become its beacon. And we all know that this paradigm, this world of effect that we find ourselves in needs our light, love, and they need to wake up to who they are, and we need to wake up to who we are. You know, I was talking to someone the other day. Her name is Genevieve. Hi. I'm so glad that you're here, right? See, we were talking about woke. I think we were talking about woke. We talked about a lot. We talked a lot. We were talking about how woke got a bad connotation. It means to wake up. It means to be aware. It means to be attentive. It means that you are recognizing that you were asleep. Woke. You are woke, wide awake. What the hell's wrong with that? Or should I say, what the heaven is wrong with that? I was like, the propaganda around that. That's some good propaganda. And we need to get on that. Let's get on that, right? I said last Sunday that we must embrace who we are and become spokespersons of Spirit's verities. It's love, it's truth. We must embrace our divinity with all of our heart, all of our soul, and all of our might. Embrace who you are. Let us begin to wake up by letting go of old beliefs that has kept us small. Don't be small, right? You see, you become beacons when you honor your unique expression of spirit, and each of you have a unique expression of spirit. Trusting that as you shine your inner light, you inspire others to do the same. You inspire others to do the same. And people need inspiration nowadays. Today marks a new chapter where we live boldly, courageously, authentically, knowing that the presence of Spirit supports us in every moment and invites us to embody love, joy, abundance in all we can do. Now, you know, folks have said to me, well, that's fine, that love and light thing, that love and light stuff. But I want to know what's God's plan for me. As I roll my eyes. First, I remind them that Spirit is principle, not a person with a clipboard with your plan written out on it. Penny, your plan for the rest of your life is? No. But if God has a plan for us, that would be simply for us to recognize that we are divine individualizations of it. That's the only plan, to recognize, to come into full realization of who we are, that we are one and forever connected to it. And for us to live our lives out loud, and for us to claim our divinity, claim our light, the light of Spirit, and let Spirit shine through us, and the light, let it out into the world. That's what the plan would be if there was one. One of the greatest discoveries we could ever make is that we are divine. That's one of the greatest discoveries that we could ever make. In New Thought, we are made aware that we are an individualization of God, Spirit, Bob, Joe, whatever you call it, and that this activity of God life, thank you, and omnipresence is forever pressing itself out into manifestation through all the world of effect, including us. Do you hear that? Spirit is within you, wanting to manifest out through you. It doesn't want to manifest any specific thing except for the divine verities that it is, which is love, right? Love is one of the biggest healing forces of the world. Love, right? You could just be loving and you would do it all. Because love will show you what to do. Love always shows you what is needed, right? That's what it's all about, right? This spirit is within our very being, our DNA. We all know that humanity has been deceived. Let me drink this water. Humanity has been deceived into believing that spirit is outside of themselves and God is an indifferent God, maybe answering prayers, maybe not. Religious talking heads have for ages preached about an anthropomorphic, cruel, and jealous God whose pastime sport is to test humanity, leaving us with no power over our own lives and having to adhere to a bunch of dogmatic rules to gain favor. That's not the God of our understanding. And I'm here to tell you that is one of the biggest lies, right? That this lie was meant to keep us small and under the control of a few that wanted power over the masses and to keep us in the victim stage. They would have us believe that life is happening to us and outside of our realm of control. It is not our truth then, and it is not our truth now. It's not our truth. No, we are here claiming our divine birthright. We are claiming our spiritual power by coming into full awareness of who we are and what we're here to do, which is love, which is to be a light, which is to be kind, which is to feed the poor, right? To do all the wonderful things that we're supposed to do when we see someone in need, when they don't know who they are, when they don't understand these principles, right? Because you can't tell anybody, oh, you're divine when they're hungry. You can't tell them that they're divine when they haven't been working. You can't help them when they are so broken down and ill and don't know who they are, right? And so that's why we do the things that we do. We have to be the hands and the feet and the voice of this divine presence. We have to learn to lift one another up, to get them to have that same level of awareness that we do. But if they're down in the dirt on their face, they're not going to hear you. Like, get that loving light. I'm hungry. Get it out of here. Right? I don't know where I am. Okay. We are here to be spiritually magnificent. We are. To live as an outpouring of life spirit, forever giving of itself in love, joy, beauty, wisdom, power, and abundance. Right? It does us no good to leave that one off. Nature gives of herself freely and for the sheer joy of expression. The birds pour forth their songs as an expression of life. The rose exhales its fragrance so that all who pass by may freely enjoy it. The important part here is that all of nature gives of itself as an expression of its abundant living, not with the idea of getting back. The divine circuit will take care of the return, and we need only to be receptive of the good of spirit. Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind and Spirit philosophy, he tells us that the gift of God is the nature of God, the eternal givingness. God cannot help making the gift because God is the gift. And we enact the divine nature of spirit. He goes on to tell us that the only reason humanity is limited is that it has not allowed the divine within them to be more completely expressed. So get out there and express your divinity. Do it flamboyantly. Do it with panache. Be that God light every day. I smile at people just for the heck of it because it makes me feel good. And sometimes people don't know how to handle that smile. They be like, do I know you? You know, or they smile back. Sometimes that's the only smile that they get all day, right? Yahshua ben Joseph, a.k.a. Jesus, he said over 2 millennia ago, all power in heaven and on earth has been given unto me. Meaning that all power in consciousness and the world of effect. And from a metaphysical standpoint, we understand that Yahshua, Jesus, was not the great exception. He was the great example. He was the great example. And again, humanity has bought into the lie that he was the only one that attained God consciousness because he was the only one that was God incarnate. Yet we know a greater truth, for it is written that we are God's children of the Most High. What part did they not understand? It's right there. It's not far from that other part, right? What part? Why are they always overlooking that, right? Let us not get it twisted, for we are divine, individualized incarnations of the one Spirit, and God is one of abundance, forever overflowing in His creation. Nature proclaims Spirit's ever-givingness in all that it does. You just have to look outside, right? My weeds in my yard are just prolific, right? I'm like, I just pulled y'all up. Humanity has been talked out of their divine attributes of joy and peace and wisdom and abundance, all those things. When we claim our divinity and live from that reality, you see, I get excited. I get so excited about this. When we claim our reality, then you express all, not some, but all of spiritual attributes, and that includes prosperity. Yes, the love and the wisdom and the peace and the joy, not prosperity for prosperity's sake, but because it is a part of your divine birthright, right? In some religions, they take an oath of poverty and encourage their members to have the same mindset. I'm here to tell you that that attitude is not God ordained. It is not God ordained. Have you really looked at nature as the manifestation of Spirit's ever-givingness? Right? There's nothing miserly about a flamingo. That thing struts in its grand pinkness. I was like, oh, I didn't know flamingos were part of the LGBTQIA community. They're like birds in drag. Like, I love those little things, right? In the book titled Open Your Mind to Prosperity, Catherine Ponder said, as long as you relate to the source, Spirit, you will be prosperous. It is when you turn from God as the source, and depend on people and conditions for your prosperity, that is when you have financial problems. And Ernest Holmes stated, if one wishes to demonstrate prosperity, they must first have a consciousness of prosperity, a mental equivalent of prosperity. I'm going to deviate a little here. There's a whole section in the Science of Mind called mental equivalent, a whole chapter that thick, a mental equivalent. And he gives an example in that particular chapter. And that example is a practitioner, which is kind of like a lay minister, but not really, a little bit more, gave a treatment for 4 different people for the same thing, for a job, right? All wanting a job. They all got the job, all 4 of them, right? Practitioner's good, coming in alignment, yeah, doing their thing. One, now, keep in mind, the Science of Mind was written back in 1938, so that's where you're going to get these numbers from. One got a job making $25 a week. One got a job making $50, the other $75, the other $100 a week, right? Well, why didn't they all get the same if it was the same practitioner doing the same treatment? Because everybody had a mental equivalent about what they were worth. They had their own mental equivalent about what they were worth. All right? So understand your mental equivalent, your consciousness will depend on what you get and receive in life. Just a little side note, right? And then he goes on to say, if one wishes health, they must embody the idea of health. A consciousness of health happiness, and prosperity can be induced within through right mental and spiritual practice. By consciousness is meant that the inner embodiment of an idea, the subjective image of the idea. What are you holding in your mind? What are you thinking about? What is in your thought process, right? The mental and spiritual equivalent of an idea. So it always comes down to what are we consciously embodying, right? Ernest Holmes posed the question, if we possess the divine nature of spirit, why then is humanity weak, poor, and afraid? For it is a belief in separation from God which binds and limits. We are bound by nothing except our beliefs. But today, we are here to discover our unique relationship with the infinite. We have all felt the spark of divine within us at some point. Some of us have even been set ablaze as our spiritual practices have released that power within. And then for some, that spark just kind of fizzles out. It fizzles out because of doubt. It fizzles out because of exhaustion. It fizzles out because it takes effort and conviction to truly go within and connect to the divine I am that is within. You see, our practices help to fan, like Rachel's doing over here. It helps to fan the flame of our divine within, right? You have to be aware through the wind that the winds of doubt they're going to blow. They're going to blow. But this teaching, these principles, will help you stand in your conviction of what it is that you believe, right? Your divine intuition is always talking to you. It is up to us to get the noise out to a low level so that you can hear that divine intuition speak through and to you and through you. You have to remain steadfast to build your spiritual muscle of faith that the flames of the divine connection is set ablaze with the truth of your being. And there's still so much more. But we won't go through all that. I just want you to know, I want you to remember right here and now that you are divine. You always have been. Don't let anyone in the outside world tell you otherwise. So I want you to go within with me right now. Let us know something great together. Let's take this moment to know that spirit is all that there is. This divine indwelling presence always says yes. We just need to ask the right things. We just need to come into a greater knowingness and a greater awareness that spirit is the life source of our very being. It is not outside of us, but it is within and all around us. We live and we move and we have our being in it. The universe has us surrounded indeed. You might as well just give up and be in love. Let your light shine. Let your love shine. Embrace who you are now and always. And so it is. Thank you, Unity of Chattanooga. All right, I believe it's the offering. Okay. So, one of the things that I know about all of our spiritual centers is that we are self-funded. We, being you and me, we give. We give to support places like this that know a divine truth. And we're going to do our offering statement. So, give from your hearts. Give what you can. So, let's say this together in one voice. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I receive in abundance. And so it is. Will the ushers please come forth?
I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited right now, right now.
Creator of all that is, divine loving light and heart of the universe, bless each one of these beautiful facets of Creator that is here today, now, and that will be with us later on. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this enormous community. So it is.
And so it is.
Well, thank you so much, Reverend Jean, for that enormous, divine, loving blanket to wrap everything up in. It was perfect. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, my heart is so full right now, it's hard to even think. Lynn Chartier is our prayer chaplain today, and she will be meeting you in the back office if anybody needs a prayer. And I hope you all will stay with us for the fellowship after service today. So let's please stand now and join in to sing the peace song.
2, 3, 4. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God our Creator, and oneness all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.